Hello and welcome to what could be one of the last episodes of the Wrestling Rant. Yes, folks, it's finally happened. Raw has been so bad I can't take it anymore. So, yeah. Not only that, but I'm going to the midnight release of Watch Dogs tonight, so I want to blow through this as quick as possible. So let's just dive right in. Raw from May 26th, 2014, Memorial Day, from Knoxville, Tennessee, the University of Tennessee. The show starts with Justin Roberts introducing Stephanie and Triple H, the Authority. They come out, Stephanie talks about Daniel Bryan, and Triple H says that Bryan is a flash in the pan, and there's a CM Punk chant. And Triple H wraps it around to saying the adapter perish bullshit of the Evolution. And he says that the Shield can't stop Evolution. And they talk about the contract signing, which is the pretty much end cap of the show. And Stephanie calls out Brad Maddox. And he comes out. And Triple H and Stephanie bitch about last week, how Brad allowed the Shield to make themselves special commentators. And, Brad says, they basically forced me to. And, yeah. So anyways, Kane comes out. And Brad's trying to, beg. He's like, come on, I didn't have a choice. And he looks at Triple H and gets sucker punched by him. Kane gets in the ring and grabs Brad, and Stephanie tells Kane to teach him a lesson. So Kane chokeslams Maddox and then picks him up and tombstones him. And Kane makes the motion for his corner pyro, and it goes off late. And then Stephanie says, oh wait, we're not done yet. We didn't finish our little conversation. One more thing, Brad. You're fired. So they fire him as the general manager. Commentators tease a message to the C Nation from Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. And they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the commercial, we get another video for Bo Dallas, who is making his debut on Raw tonight. In the ring, there's Cesaro and Paul Heyman and shit. RVD's music, and he comes out, and while he's coming out, we get a recap of Wade Barrett sucker punching, attacking RVD from behind last week. And yeah, while Rob is coming out, he's kind of looking over his shoulder like, is Barrett going to come and nail me again? No. But after Cesaro and RVD are in the ring, Barrett's music hits and he comes out. And he's got some bad news. And first of all, he says something completely wrong. He says, today is the first day of summer. Actually, no, it's not, you fucking idiot. It's not until, June or July. But then he says, the bad news is that for summer, people go and they try to put on their old swimwear and it doesn't fit because they're getting fat, blah, blah, blah. This guy is a fucking hack. Enough already. Moving on. Who cares? We do the match. Cesaro and RVD, which turns out to be an okay match. And by the way, if the show continues, I'm starting a new format, or trying at least. I'm not going to bother with all the spots in the match. I'm just going to go for anything noteworthy or anything noteworthy in the finish. Anyways. During the match, Barrett gets on commentary, which makes it even worse. There was a commercial break. Barrett tries to get involved in the match. No. Cesaro and RVD fought out of the ring, over by the commentary table. And Barrett's like, oh, I don't like this, I'm gonna get up. And so he gets up and he moves forward and eats a super kick from RVD, shutting his limey ass up for a minute. And of course, that leads to the finish. RVD had Cesaro set up for the 5-star, but Barrett gets on the apron, and Rob kicks him off, but that's enough of a distraction. Cesaro comes from behind, grabs RVD, deadlift German suplex, and Cesaro gets the win. And I don't fucking care. For no reason, it seems, Sheamus comes running out and attacks, or no, he doesn't even attack Cesaro. He comes out and he brogue kicks the fuck out of Cesaro. And okay, I guess the reason for this is because last week they had a match and Cesaro didn't want to shake Sheamus' hand, so apparently now they're feuding. And yeah, because of that, as Cesaro is laying there knocked out from the brogue kick, Sheamus grabs Cesaro's limp hand and shakes it, and then fucks off. Moving on, we get more hype for the contract signing, and we cut to another goddamn commercial. Coming back from the commercial, we get a recap from SmackDown of the god-awful tag team match, Divas tag team match, which featured Summer Rae as the guest referee screwing over Eva Marie. Apparently these two are feuding now. Speaking of which, Eva and Nikki Bella are in the ring, and Eva's music is playing. I didn't even know she had music, number one, and it's awful, by the way. And so Summer's almost equally awful music hits, and she comes out to no fucking reaction. And that's a trend you will hear me say throughout the rest of the thing. We also get another recap from last week on Raw, Summer's return, running out and kissing Johnny Fandango and then beating up Layla. And of course, that feeds into the match. The match starts, Eva and Summer, and it's shit, of course. Eva slaps Summer, I think, and that gets her fired up, whatever the fuck. The match doesn't go very long. Fandango's music hits, and he comes out on the stage with Layla, and they dance, and then they fucking make out with each other. And of course, this is enough of a distraction. Eva rolls Summer up from behind and gets the win. So yes, Eva Marie just got a fucking win on Raw. And the bitch still can't fucking wrestle. Crowd's dead, by the way, of course, and Eva's awful music plays. Moving on, we cut backstage. There's Randy and Dave. I don't know, doing something stupid together. Who gives a fuck? Cody Rhodes and Goldust come up. I guess they were in the office. And so Cody Rhodes and Goldust are like, we want to talk to Triple H, you know, because we want some action. We want some action. We noticed we're not on the card. We're not scheduled to complete. We want a match. And so since we don't have any action, we're going to go out there and give an open challenge. And Randy and Dave say something stupid. I don't fucking care what they said. But Cody comes back by saying, oh look, it's the Skinny Jeans sellout, referring to Batista, and RK Blow, referring to Randy. Yada yada. Triple H comes up and says, you know what, you want a match, you got it. 4 of you in a match later. Commercial break. Coming back from the commercial break, 3MB and Hornswoggle are in the fucking ring. And we already know what this match is going to be because they announced it as soon as they came back from the commercial. It's going to be Drew McIntyre versus El Torito. Don't ask me why. Anyways, the Matadors and El Torito come out. And we get the match, and it's a shit match, of course. Oh, and by the way, McIntyre's Jobber Championship is on the line. The match is shit, mainly because the match didn't last very long before there's just a big brawl on the outside between the other people. McIntyre was up on the top rope. He was going to give... It looked like he was going to give El Torito a superplex. But the Matadors jumped on the apron and helped Torito get out of it. And then that's where the brawl came from. 3MB came over and attacked him. And I guess Torito tripped McIntyre out of the corner. He fell flat on his back or whatever. And Torito was able to pin him off of that. So El Torito wins. McIntyre keeps his Jobber Championship. And 3MB freaks out. They beat the fuck out of El Torito in the ring. Thank God. It's mainly Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle rips the tail off of El Torito, off of his stupid phony costume. And the commentators sell it like, my God, the humanity! This is horrible! And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's a midget in a bull costume. You can sew the fucking tail back on backstage. And JBL says there's nothing funny about this. And I'm like, you're goddamn right, asshole. There's nothing funny about a fully grown man losing to a midget who's half his fucking size in a match on a live national television show. There's nothing funny about this shit. Can you see why I'm pissed off about this show? Can you see why I'm pissed off about the WWE in general? Why I don't want to watch this shit anymore? Moving on. More teasing for the stupid message to the C Nation, which is going to be up next, and another commercial break. Coming back from the commercial, we get a recap of what just happened. The yanking off of the tail, and the commentators are all, they're all dark, like, oh my god, this is horrible. And they actually cut backstage to the trainer's office, where the Matadors and El Torito are freaking out with the trainer, like, oh my god, fix it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with this shit? We get the Wyatt cutaway, and that segues, of course, into them coming out. And they get in the ring, and while they're coming out, we get a recap of last week. Let's see, Bray beating up Cena, hitting the Sister Abigail on him on the stage, and then singing while Harper counted to 10. And what do we get this time? But with Bray's promo, he starts by singing again. And he talks, and he makes something about, am I the snake, or am I the cure? He's talking about being poison you're talking about, with poison you need an anti-venom, whatever the fuck. Who cares? He mentions the last man standing match, and then he asks Jerry Lawler into the ring for some stupid reason. And of course, Jerry, with his frickin' heart condition, I don't think he wants any piece of that. Lawler don't want to, of course. Rowan and Harper go out to get him. And the whole time Cole and JBL are like, come on, you don't need to do this. He's got a heart condition. You can't do this. And so Harper and Rowan come over to the announce table to get Jerry. And JBL stands up. And he takes off his suit jacket. And he goes to, stop Harper and Rowan. But Harper clotheslines the fuck out of him. Knocks him flat on his ass. Flat on his back. And this just lays out JBL. He's out. So, yeah, Harper and Rowan grab Jerry and they get him in the ring and they get a chair. And one of them sets the chair up in the ring and they have Jerry sit down on it. And Bray says, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. And he starts going on and on about how Jerry is John Cena's friend and how he's spread all these lies about Cena, spreading all the garbage bullshit about Cena being this hero and everything. And he goes on and on and on. And finally, Harper and Rowan grab Jerry up out of the chair again. And it's obvious that Bray's going to hit the Sister Abigail on Jerry. Bray even does his stupid little backbend pose in the corner. And he grabs Jerry and he sets him up for the Sister Abigail. No, I'm skipping ahead. Bray does his backbend pose, and while he's doing it, Cena's music hits and he comes bolting down to the ring. And he gets overwhelmed by Harper and Rowan, of course. And they beat Cena down. And all the while, Bray has a hold of Lawler. He's got him in the corner with his boot up against his throat, pretty much. Anyways, so yeah, Harper and Rowan are beating down Cena. And Bray gets Jerry set up for the Sister Abigail. And then all of a sudden, here come the Usos. And they clear house. They send the Wyatts running. And Jerry gets the fuck out of the ring and runs back over to commentary, obviously. Cena starts talking. And good God. It finally looks like the crowd is back on Cena's side in this god-awful feud. Because during Cena's promo, they started chanting for Cena. I couldn't believe it. They finally figured out a way to make Bray seems so vile that they just had to side with Cena. And Cena's promo sucked pretty much, and he ends by saying, I'm going to have justice at the pay-per-view. And he says, justice may be blind, but for you, payback will be a bitch. Whoop-de-doo, moving on. More hype for the contract signing, and they cut to a commercial. Coming back, JBL is gone. Yay! And then Zack Ryder comes out. Boo! He comes out waving an American flag, and he still gets no fucking reaction from the crowd. He goes to start talking, but he gets immediately cut off by Lana's music. Obviously, he comes out waving an American flag. He's going against Rusev. So Lana comes out, and she talks, and she does the same shit she always fucking does. And she introduces Rusev, who comes out, and he says, 3 words, and that's it. And then they get in the ring, and then Rusev jobs out Ryder in, a minute with the accolade. And he won't break the hold, and all of a sudden, here comes Big E, who comes out for the save, and it almost goes like it did the last time, where Big E was getting beat up. But all of a sudden, Big E was able to make a comeback. Let me see. I think Big E was in the corner. Rusev went to charge him. Big E got the boot up, knocked him for a loop, and Big E clotheslines Rusev over the top rope and out of the fucking ring. And this got a huge pop. So, yeah, the crowd were dead for frickin' Big E before, and now all of a sudden they like him just because they're making Rusev go away. Big E grabs the American flag, and he's waving it around, moving on. We cut backstage to another one of those stupid promo segments, not promo segments, but another one of those backstage segments, where we see 2 people talking, but we can't hear anything. And it's Stephanie and Alberto Del Rio. No idea what the purpose of this was, and it was only 10 seconds long. Who cares? Moving on. More hype for the contract signing, and we cut to another goddamn commercial break. Coming back, Randy and Dave come out to the Evolution music, to no reaction, by the way. And then Cody Rhodes and Goldust come out, and it's time for their match. It's a boring goddamn match. Commercial break, and the finish of the match comes when, let's see, Cody got the hot tag, came in and started cleaning house. He hits a disaster kick on Batista, who was on the apron. He hits it to basically just knock him out. And then Cody goes to hit the disaster kick on Randy, but Randy catches him into an RKO. And that just wipes Cody out. Randy knocked Goldust off the apron, and Randy hit Goldie off the apron, and then Randy waits for Cody to get back up, and then he hits the RKO on him again and pins him. And after the match, Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, says that that's actually not the end of the match, it's just an elimination. I've just been informed by our asshole piece of shit bosses, the Authority, that was actually an elimination. This was an elimination tag match. So what we're going to get now is going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match, Batista and Orton versus Goldust. And it's going to be a no-holds-barred match. And they really use that stipulation. Sarcasm. So yeah, we basically get another match. And it's Randy and Dave versus Goldust, supposedly no-holds-barred, shit match. Let's see, Randy went to hit the rope-hung DDT, but Goldust counted out of it, backdropped Randy out of the ring, only to get speared by Batista. And then Randy immediately gets back in the ring, hits the RKO on Goldust, and then Batista picks Goldust up, hits the Batista bomb on him, and they win the match. So, yeah, they really used that no-holds-barred stipulation. It was basically a 2-on-1 handicap match with tornado rules, because they were not asked to tag, and the referee didn't stop them from double teaming. So, yeah. They really get what a no-holds-barred match is. Yeah. Fuck off. Another video for Bo Dallas and another commercial break. Coming back from the commercial break, Sin Cara is in the ring. And what we get is a fucking rehash of what we got from SmackDown. Bo's debut. Oh yeah, and JBL's back on commentary. Great, like we needed him. Bo comes out to no reaction, and he has awful music and an awful entrance. And he cuts this really stupid, shitty promo. All you have to do is Bo leave. Anyways, the match happens. It's a crap match. Bo wins with the Stratusfaction, as he did on SmackDown, which is being called the Bo Dog. Crowd's dead, of course. Bo cuts another promo, saying basically, victory, satisfaction doesn't just come from the victory. If you try your hardest and give it your all, then you're already a winner. And then he goes over and he shakes Sin Cara's hand and hugs him, and that's it. Commentators say up next, we have a segment where will we see Daniel Bryan surrender the WWE World Heavyweight title to Stephanie, and then we cut to a commercial. Coming back from the commercial, they announced that we're going to get the Usos versus Harper and Rowan on main event tomorrow night. Then we get a recap from earlier of Kane attacking Brad Maddox. And then Stephanie comes out to no reaction. She talks for a bit and asks Bryan to come out, and he does, in a neck brace, of course. And Stephanie talks a bit, Bryan talks, saying that his injury is worse than he originally thought, so he probably will have to surrender the title. And Bryan says, you know what, this isn't really about me, it's about you, Stephanie. It's about the fact that you can't stand the fact that I beat your husband at WrestleMania and won the WWE World Heavyweight title, blah, blah, blah. He goes on to say, if you want me to surrender this title to you, I'm going to say something to you that you've probably never said in your entire privileged silver spoon life. No! And so Stephanie says, you know what? The other week, when you were being carted out on that stretcher, your wife, Bree, put her hands on me. And they even roll the footage of the recap video showing it. And she says, you know, you can't touch the boss. And she says, so I'm going to give you one last chance at the Payback pay-per-view. You either surrender the title, or she's going to fire Bree. So, yeah. It's either give up the title or give up your wife's job. Like she needs one and like she deserves it. Anyways, cut to commercial. Coming back, we get a recap from last week of Alicia Fox beating Paige. And of course, that segues into Alicia Fox's music hitting, and she comes out to no fucking reaction. And then Emma comes out to no reaction as well. And we have a match between these two, and it's shit. At the beginning of the match, I guess, Emma locked in the tarantula, which she calls the Dilemma. Stupid fucking name. She locked that in on Fox. Fox got out of it, rolled out of the ring, and went to do the heel I'm leaving spot. But Emma comes out after her to chase her, and Fox turns around and kicks Emma right in the fucking face. Real goddamn hard. Whatever the fuck, back in the ring, Fox came charging into the corner to do like a big boot. Because Emma was in the corner, she was going to do like the big boot wash sort of thing. But Emma got out of the way, and so Fox basically crotched herself on the top rope. Emma rolls her up, 1, 2, 3, Emma wins. And of course that prompts another Fox freakout. She attacks Emma, beats the hell out of her, hits an ugly gut-wrench backbreaker, and then she gets out of the ring and she goes over and she grabs the ring bell and starts ringing it repeatedly. She attacks some ring tech guy at ringside, throws him to the ground, gives him a wedgie, goes under the ring, gets some sodas from under the ring, sprays them all over herself, sprays them into the crowd. She's just freaking out again. And this took like 5 fucking minutes, and it was 5 of the worst minutes in Raw history, watching this dumb bitch with no wrestling talent fucking freak out after losing a match. And I even had to write down here, what the fuck is this shit? Anyways, the commentators say that up next, we've got Adam Rose making his Raw in-ring debut. And we cut to a commercial. Coming back from the commercial, they announced that El Torito versus Hornswoggle will be the pre-show for the Payback pay-per-view. But it gets better. It's going to be a hair versus mask match. Hornswoggle's hair versus El Torito's mask. Who gives a shit? Moving on. This weird music hits. And the Titantron says Davy Crockett. Since we're in Tennessee, right? Out comes Damian Sandow dressed as Davy Crockett. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? You already made him fucking pissed off with the Magneto shit. Now you're gonna do it again. Sandow gets in the ring. And then the Exotic Express, the Rosebuds, whatever you want to call them, they come out. And followed by Adam Rose. They come out, and then we have Sandow versus Rose crap match. During the match, the Real Americans music hits, and out comes Swagger and Zeb Coulter with the lemon of the Rosebud party, whatever. And this was supposed to be a distraction to cause Rose to lose the match, but it backfired. Rose grabs Sandow and hits him with a snapmare driver and gets the win. I don't know what he calls this, but he gets the win. So Rose wins, and then all of a sudden Swagger jumps in the ring and starts beating the fuck out of Rose. But Rose turns it around and just starts beating the holy hell out of Swagger, enough to the point where he knocks him out of the ring and chases him off. And then here back come the Rosebuds, the party people, whatever. They come back and they celebrate with Rose. And I'm like, what the fuck? He goes all angry because he's being attacked, and then I'm happy again, I don't give a fuck. Anyways, they say that up next we're going to have a match between Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. And that, by the way, is the main event match, the last match on the show. They cut to a commercial. Coming back, Sheamus comes out to what sounded like no reaction. I'm not quite sure. I didn't hear much. Anyways, we get a recap from SmackDown of Cesaro hitting the neutralizer on Sheamus on the floor. And then we also get a recap of Sheamus attacking Cesaro from earlier. And then Del Rio's music comes out, or hits, and he comes out to no reaction. And we get the match. And there was a commercial break during the match. And what happened was, or what the story of the match was, is Del Rio was just wailing on Sheamus's head. And Sheamus looked like he was out of it and like he had a concussion or whatever. Del Rio even hits the concussion kick on him, but only gets 2. And then what ends up happening is the referee's like checking on Sheamus because he's still really out of it. And finally, Del Rio grabs him, goes for the arm breaker, the cross arm breaker, but Sheamus gets out of it somehow, hits the ropes, and hits the brogue kick. And I'm like, yep, of course. He kind of stumbles for a second when he's on the ground. He rolls over, he makes the cover, and he gets the win. So Sheamus wins. And before Justin Roberts can announce Sheamus as the win, Heyman, I guess, stole the mic from him, and Heyman says, here's your winner, this stupid, red-headed Irish goof, and whatever the fuck, and he's just making fun of him. Yada, 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 and he says, my client Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and I don't fucking care! Distraction, of course, and Cesaro comes from behind and proceeds to beat the living shit out of Sheamus. One of the highlights of this show, one of the only highlights. Cesaro beats the fuck out of Sheamus, just raining down blows on his head. And what was funny is, Cesaro basically hit the brogue kick on Sheamus, because Sheamus was in the corner. And he was looking over at Heyman, who's in the timekeeper area. And Cesaro comes down and just runs and big boots Sheamus like in the back of the head. And I was like, yeah, you want to kick people in the head, you motherfucker, fuck you. Anyways, so Cesaro wails on Sheamus, knocks him down, picks him up, hits the neutralizer on him, and that's it. Moving on. More hype for the contract signing, which is next, and we cut to another fucking commercial break. Coming back, Michael Cole is in the ring for the signing, and of course there's a table with the contract and the chairs, and Cole starts talking, and he gets cut off by the Shield music, and the three of them come out, and Ambrose starts talking. He's like, enough of this stupidity, whatever the fucking... While Ambrose is talking, Roman is grabbing each chair and just chucking it out of the ring, one at a time, just chucking them. And Ambrose cuts a nice promo, and then Seth cuts a nice promo, and Ambrose picks up the last chair and chucks it out of the ring all angry and shit. And then Roman picks up the table and chucks that out of the ring too. And the whole point to their promos was like, whatever, this is all just formality. We know what's about to happen. It's going to be a fight, so let's just clear this shit out of the ring and let's have a fight. And so, with all that shit out of the way, Evolution comes out to no reaction. And Triple H talks and he says, I'm going to offer you one more chance to rethink what you're doing here, because if you sign that contract and you face us at the Payback pay-per-view, it's going to be it for you. And I'm thinking, yeah, stupid, that's really a good idea to kill off one of the best things your company has going right now. The crowd starts chanting Hounds of Justice. And, of course, after Trips says, do you really want to sign this? Seth signs the contract, and Ambrose kind of fumbles with it because he's being all pissed off and shit, and he drops the fucking pen, he has to pick it up, and he signs the shit, hands it to Roman, and Roman signs the damn thing. Roman goes over and drops the contract through the ropes at Triple H's feet, and then all three members of Evolution sign, and Trips goes to say something, but Roman says, you know what, just shut up. Get your asses in the ring and let's fight. And they're like, okay. And so Evolution get up on the apron, and tension, whatever the fuck, they go to back off, of course. But they're faking it, they get in the ring, and the fight's on. And they start fighting. And, of course, the Shield is kicking Evolution's ass. And let's see, Roman had Batista down, and he was going to go for the spear. But before he could hit the spear, Triple H goes under the ring and grabs out his trusty sledgehammer, because he can't beat anybody in a fight without that fucking sledgehammer. He cracks Reigns in the guts with it, and he starts wailing on people with it, and of course this is the point where Evolution gets the upper hand and they just destroy the Shield. The commentary table is cleared off, and the three members of Evolution, they get Reigns, and they pick him up on Batista's shoulders, and they hit the Fall of Justice, the triple power bomb, on Reigns through the announce table, and that's pretty much it. The three members of Evolution, they stand over Roman with doing their mock version of the fist pose, and Triple H even puts the head of his sledgehammer on their fists. And that's the end of the show. The show fucking sucked. I fucking hated just about everything. I'm serious. This is pretty much going to be one of the last episodes of the show if something good doesn't happen at the pay-per-view. I'm sick to death of wasting my time on this garbage. I'm not even going to recap the matches this time. I need to get going to the midnight release. So in closing, that was Raw, May 26, 2014, Memorial Day from Knoxville, Tennessee, the University of Tennessee. The show sucked. I'm going to do the SmackDown spoilers, and I'm going to do the pay-per-view, the Payback pay-per-view on Sunday. But if something good doesn't happen, I'm fucking done with this shit. So, that was the show. Thank you for watching. Join us next time for the SmackDown spoilers and my pay-per-view predictions after that. We will see you next time for the SmackDown spoilers. What could be one of the last episodes of this show. Thank you for watching. Join us next time. Good night.